future appointments, however the selection process may continue.
The provisions also require government departments to furnish records of employment to special employment exchanges. An important provision in the Persons with Disabilities Act requires carry forward of jobs not filled for 1 year and the interchanging of disability groups if a suitable candidate is not found in the second year. The appropriate government and local authorities are mandated to formulate schemes for ensuring employment of the disabled, and such schemes are to include training and welfare, relaxation of upper age limit, health and safety measures, and creation of non-handicapping environment. The right to employment of persons who get disabled whilst in government employment is protected under Section 47, which states that no establishment shall dispense or reduce in rank an employee who acquires a disability during his service. The section also states that if the employee is unable to continue in the same post, she or he could be shifted to some other post with the same pay scale and service benefits. If this is not possible, the section clearly states that the supernumerary post be created for the disabled employee. The section also clearly states that no promotion shall be denied to a person on the grounds of disability. Section 41 provides for an incentive scheme for private and public sectors that employ more than 5% workforce which is disabled. Besides, all poverty alleviation schemes of the government are to reserve 3% posts for the disabled. Social security is an area of concern for persons with disabilities, and this is covered under Section 67 that requires appropriate governments to frame insurance schemes and alternatively security schemes for the benefit of all disabled employees. Section 68 provides for framing of schemes for payment of unemployment allowance to disabled persons registered with special employment exchanges for more than 2 years and who have not been provided gainful employment. The right to health is an important aspect of social and cultural rights. The Persons with Disabilities Act in Section 25 mandates the appropriate government, within the limits of their economic capacity and development, to undertake surveys, investigations and research concerning the cause of occurrence of disabilities, promote methods of preventing disabilities, screen all children once a year to identify at-risk cases, train staff at the primary health centers, conduct awareness campaigns, disseminate information on health and general hygiene. The section also covers measures for prenatal, perinatal and postnatal care of mother and child, to prevent disabilities and to educate the public through schools, primary health centers, village Anganwadi workers, and to create awareness through mass media. In a country where basic medical and health services are not available to all in general, the availability of such services to persons with disabilities remains a big question mark. These facilities, if available, cannot be accessed because of physical barriers. And if these barriers are somehow overcome, then it is the attitudinal and communication barriers that have to be overcome by the disabled. The right to education is a fundamental right under our Constitution. While the Constitution gives the right to free education till the age of 16 years, the Persons with Disabilities Act extends free education till the age of 18 years. Section 26 of the Act ensures every disabled child access to free education in an appropriate environment till the age of 18 years and his or her integration in a normal school. The section also provides for setting up of special schools with private and public partnerships for those who need special schools. All such special schools are to be equipped with vocational training facilities. All educational institutions and institutions receiving aid from the government are to reserve 3% seats for the disabled. Section 27 of the Act states that non-formal education will be undertaken by conducting part-time classes for children with disabilities who have completed studies up till 5th standard and special part-time classes for providing functional literacy for children in the age group of 16 and above. Non-formal education is to be imparted by utilizing manpower in rural areas after giving them appropriate orientation. Education is to be imparted through open schools and open universities. Electronic and other media are to be used to conduct classes, and special equipments are to be provided free of cost to children with disabilities. Section 28 mandates the government to initiate research on designing and developing assistive devices, teaching aids, and special teaching material. Section 29 empowers the government to set up teachers training institutions and assist national institutes and voluntary organizations to develop teachers training programs specializing in disabilities to enable trained manpower for special schools. Section 30 calls for provision of transport facilities or transport subsidy for children with disabilities. The removal of architectural barriers from institutions, supply of books, uniforms, and material to children with disabilities. This section also provides for scholarships for children and setting up of forums for redressal of grievances of parents. While the law is very comprehensive on matters of education, it is alarming to note that not even 5% of children with disabilities are able to access education. While some children suffering from mental retardation, cerebral palsy, and multiple disabilities do manage to get some basic education in special schools, there is just no standard curriculum designed for them. Education of the hearing impaired remains an area where much more needs to be done.
As a parent of a deaf girl, I am very interested in education, and I find that only 4% of deaf children are able to manage in the mainstream. 96% of the deaf children who are accessing education are functionally literate. The fault is that the education methodology used is archaic, arcane, and out of date. The suppression of sign language by rehabilitation professional educators has caused this problem. There is no policy of informed choice for the parents, and they are just following only one very old methodology. There is not even one single class or school for children who up to 12th standard in the government schools, and no colleges for the deaf in the country. The situation is dismal.
Access to media and information technology and access to places of entertainment, sports and culture are an integral part of social and cultural rights of the disabled persons. With the huge developments in information and communication technologies, the question we have to ask ourselves is whether these technologies are benefiting persons with disabilities as well. Disabled persons are also deprived of their religious rights. Whilst the sanctity of religious places is of importance, it is also important that persons with disabilities have unhindered access to such places, even if it means making reasonable accommodation. In some religious places, persons with disabilities using calipers and wheelchairs are even denied entry. persons with disabilities' access to transportation, roads, and the built environment is critical as it enables their access to economic, social, and cultural rights in a better way. The right to access transportation is addressed in Section 44 of the Act, which states that establishments in the transport sector, within the limits of their economic capacities and development, will take special measures to adapt rail compartments, buses, vessels and aircraft so as to permit easy access to disabled persons. The section also mandates adaptation of toilets in rail compartments, vessels, aircraft and waiting rooms so as to permit their use by wheelchair users.